Uh-oh.
Yo, I just want to talk about your tweet, just saying I agree with what Myelina said,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I disagree.
Okay.
Oh my
Um,
god.
I'll just read straight from the thing. So the first one is shutdown is a complete victory for Democrats. It's strange that people think otherwise. I just disagree that even if you want to say there's a silver lining,
Dude, I
complete victory
can't
is
believe it. I can't
exaggeration.
believe he agrees with that take.
Um,
Why?
She has like 4 points or whatever. The first one is voters still feel pain. Worst thing Democrats could have done with this shutdown is get what they wanted, the ACA subsidies. Voters need to feel the consequences of voting for an anti-governance party. If Dems keep bailing Republicans out, voters will just keep voting for them. I think this goes almost the opposite for the Republicans because the Democrats literally bailed the Republicans out of the shutdown.
Yeah, but aren't the
did.
healthcare prices all still going to go up because the ACA is lapsing?
Yeah, but those are already happening.
Yes,
even
it
if the
is.
shutdown
Yes,
kept going.
yes, it is.
Yeah. So what was the point then of just making it worse?
Of keeping it bad so that you can get something from it, right?
Well, I feel like it's already going to be pretty bad. And then I feel like politically, at this moment in time at least, it's like the polling and everything was absolutely favoring the Democrats. Plus, I feel like Trump made a couple of unforced errors.
Yeah. So why would you?
Because it
yourself
seems like
look
we've
bad by
extracted a lot of.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. There's no reason to pull out until Trump's approval rating stopped going lower, right? It was still going low. We were winning. We were winning. Okay. It was going lower and lower. Well, you don't pull out fucking halfway. It's like stocks. Okay, you gotta wait for it to reach its maximum, and then it dips a little bit, and then you pull out. Okay, but we haven't even seen that yet.
Capital out of it. We won a ton of elections.
Tell him to join Discord. Yeah, I DM'd him at like 8:37, like an hour ago. So screw
Played
you.
poorly for them. Donald Trump's ratings are still plummeting.
You think I don't DM
Why
him?
push the envelope until like you break
Radiant's
something?
being
I
so
don't know.
dumb.
I don't think that.
Oh,
I just don't
Radiant?
think they're ever capitulating on any of the
No.
major demands.
No, we're not talking about Radiant. No, this isn't about
I don't
Radiant
think so
anymore.
happening.
Well, then I posit to you: if they're never capitulating, then isn't that then it will just keep getting worse and worse and worse for them, no? Until they're forced to concede on the ACA thing eventually.
Well, do they concede or do we just go to war?
Well, then
Then war would be inevitable.
So
Cinema.
problem.
I mean, we could. I feel like don't we have another vote that we get in December? Or
So
when
that's
is, or how long?
No, but that's just a vote. That's not a promise to not cut the fucking subsidies. That's only a vote. We don't know whether or not the vote is going to be guaranteed either. We don't know if a vote will be held because Republicans have not shown up to a vote before. Republicans they've done multiple things before to like withhold from the vote. Oh my god, I don't understand. I don't understand. Radiant is here talking shit. Where in chat? But who cares? Let him talk his shit. Yeah, who cares?
Can your resolution go out towards?
Jan 1st, I think, or January 31st, one or the other. But kind of goes into it later in the thing. Well, there we go. The fifth point in my tweet thread.
What about all the other points? Read them in order. 1B.
Well, sure, but because you just brought it up.
Okay.
The
You
CR
just
only lasts for
dumpstered
January
him, so
2026. That's less than 4 months. Democrats can easily just force a shutdown again to receive more concessions, and there's nothing Republicans can do about it. Republicans don't hold that ACA vote in December. Dems can shut it down. Okay. So if the idea is, just do the shutdown again, if they don't give you the ACA vote, then why do it at all? If that's the case, and if the whole point is, just do a shutdown again, well, we were already in a shutdown. It was already going poorly for Republicans and going really good for Democrats. Why would we stop it now and cut out? Now, the argument obviously is, the stuff that they did get, which was some SNAP concessions, and some federal workers are supposed to be reinstated and get back pay and shit.
Sorry, if we went a little Courage the Sea Dog. What? I don't know what that
But
means.
I don't know if you read. If I link you something, can you open it? Tim Kaine, one of the
download the exe.
one of the senators who voted in favor of the shutdown, wrote a really retarded statement last night. Let me send it to you, and you can pull it up or whatever, or if you want, just read it along. He wrote, the third paragraph of the statement is, this legislation will protect federal workers from baseless firings, reinstate those who have been wrongfully terminated during the shutdown, and ensure federal workers receive back pay as required by a law I got passed in 2019. Okay, if those are things that Tim Kaine, who voted for it, says are being that he got from this bill to reopen the government, okay? So protect federal workers from baseless firings. Okay, so they were fired baselessly, and that already happened. Like, that was already breaking the law, so it was already illegal. Reinstate those who have been wrongfully terminated during the shutdown. Okay, wrongfully terminated, so they were already fucked anyways, right? Like, it was already illegal to do that if it was wrongful termination. Ensure they receive back pay as already required by law, so they're already breaking the law. There's no guarantee on any of this. These are all things that are already in law and are already being broken. Like, we didn't. What did we get?
We got a maybe. We got a maybe. The Republicans promised to hold a vote, but are you actually willing to trust the word of the Republicans? What are you talking about? I just don't get why Steven is actually just being so frustrating.
Well, I mean, before
Well,
this is all just stuff that's going to happen now that the government is no longer shut down, right? Like it's like they
Well-
have to rehire people after the government comes back online, right? And then give them back pay. Otherwise, you're gonna have like a fucking revolt, right?
What?
They don't have to rehire people; they could hire other people, right? Like when they were doing the purges, it was like all the Democrats were getting.
Well, sometimes that just has to, it's a cost benefit analysis, right? It's a cost benefit analysis. Yeah, a lot of innocent people will be caught in the crosshairs, but we all understand that that is a cost we would be willing to make. So then Trump would go down, right? So then we can make Trump lose. So then we are able to make Trump suffer, right? Because we only have as a group of people who don't have any branch of the federal government. We have very little leverage outside of the supermajority in the Senate and possibly the House. That we have very little leverage. Okay? The judicial branch of the government will likely be conservative forever, for the rest of your remaining natural lives. Our remaining natural lives. The presidency? We don't even know if he's going to break the Constitution and find some loophole, so then he'll run as the third term president. Okay? So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about giving up the only leverage that we have. The only leverage that we have. And for what? A guarantee of a vote? A guaranteed vote? Not even a guarantee of not cutting the ACA? The raising of healthcare premiums by 300 to 400% for poor people? What are we talking about here?
Rid of people who put LGBT flags on their desks.
Why
can't
do they want to
believe
hire
it.
a whole different
I can't believe it. I just can't believe
Where are they
it.
gonna get all these people from?
India.
Where they're getting all the ICE agents from. Whatever retarded Republican's going to start applying and shit.
They'll probably be rehired. And I
Sure,
feel like-
some people will be rehired. Would have been rehired anyways, maybe.
Well, when the government's open again,
regardless
right?
of
Yeah.
under what circumstances.
We're not Fed workers going without pay, SNAP recipients going home. Yeah, you're right. I am not. Okay? I'm not. Which is a good thing. Because I get to remain from an unbiased standpoint, okay? Because if I was a SNAP person who was getting SNAP benefits, I think my judgment on this issue would be compromised. Okay? So, thank God I'm not a SNAP recipient. Thank God I'm not a food stamp consumer. Thank God I'm not a federal worker, okay, anymore. All right? Because guess what? Now I can think from the perspective of someone who is not biased by these things, okay? So yes, fuck.
The government reopened.
You're getting food
But
stamps?
some
You're
way,
an AI,
right? That's
you're
why
a senior
fired them.
AI engineer. I don't want
Possibly,
to
yeah.
hear it.
Like
Good
they
one, good
didn't just
means.
fire them for no reason, right? They fired them because
Well, but also they could use the excuse of the government shutdown, which they might have done anyway. I guess
Yeah,
it
but
just,
the
I don't have like a
excuse, like,
99% lean on this, but I think that it's incredibly naive to assume that this would have been 100% in the favor of Democrats going forward. As it stands right now, at the end of this, I think that the political gains for the Democrats, I think were basically almost 100%. We won every single election across the nation that was important. I think that the voters are blaming the Republican Party rightfully for it. All of their bullshit talking points, I don't think ended up landing, despite how hard they tried to do it. The 1.5 trillion for illegal healthcare and all that other bullshit. And then we kind of centered this fight and we made the healthcare stuff a really big deal. And those things are going up because they did make a negotiation on that. So we still get the pain from that. And then we avoided like the mass civil war of food stamps aren't funded and now like a ton of people are starving, or all these federal workers in different states that might be vulnerable for us now are going to be like it is possible that if you
the thing
push
with SNAP and shit is that like that's already being fought in the courts and like it was already
fought in the court.
Fuck poor people, am I right? Yes. Sometimes, like in fighting a justified war, like for example, okay, when we would never blame Ukraine for fucking over a bunch of poor Ukrainians, right? Or poor old Ukrainian people because of the war, right? It like you would argue, yeah, it's justified to fight a war and it's justified to commit a bunch of Ukrainians to become soldiers and draft them into the army because we're here to fight for our survival. Well, this is the same scenario. If we're in a war to fight for our own survival against Trump and demolishing democracy and demolishing our place in this world and taking away from us all of our lives, of course we're going to have to sacrifice poor people. Sacrificing poor people has always been a core tenet of every single justified fight that has ever happened throughout history.
Courts
that's
could be
being
years.
going through and they're like Sure. Well, no, I mean, shit's being ruled on, like, going back and forth. Like, oh, it was ruled illegal. Like, you have to pay out SNAP to fucking people, and then they're
Yeah, but
saying
there's
no,
also a
and then
lot of
courts
these.
telling them yes.
Yeah, because you have to. That's assuming you're getting your stays, you're getting your TROs, you're getting whatever. But like, if they beat one of these like preliminary injunctions, one of these TROs, then you're at years and years and years for.
Like for example, you shouldn't fuck over poor people if you have two options, right? And one of the good options is not to fuck them over, right? Like you're able to take an option. But we've ran out of options. We ran out of options. You can't say that when we've ran out of options. If we have no more options, then the only option left is to fuck over poor people. That's just the reality. I'm sorry that whatever.
Like you could play the game
Yeah.
there, but like there's worlds where that could go really bad for everybody, Democrats included. Like, or there's worlds where it could go.
I agree. It could get really worse, and it could be really bad even for Democrats.
Sure, and it could get a lot better. That's possible too. But I'm just like right now where they ended it, I think that like it was 100%.
I think I heard like one MSNBC host say this. The raising of healthcare premiums will become more than the rent that some poor people have to pay for their apartments. Forget about food, okay? Because let's be totally honest, food is 100% cheaper than rent and healthcare combined, okay? 100%. Like we're not even like if we're even viewing this from a perspective, like let's just view this from a perspective of just simply prices. Okay, the price of groceries is always going to be less than the combined price of rent and healthcare. This isn't even a debate. Okay, I'm sorry.
Almost every
My point is right on all fronts. Okay,
I completely agree with you, but to me, that's a reason to keep it going. I don't know why you would like quit while you're ahead, or literally like concede, like cave to the Republicans while you're.
You're gonna tell him?
Why don't you? How many times were we ahead? We queued one more game.
You could get a big loss streak, Zip, and that could be the alternative. Or they could have kept winning, but I'll tell you what, it's not sometimes worth the risk to keep queuing.
Okay, but if we're in this analogy, right?
Oh my god. What did the League, wow, yes, comparing League video game shit. Yeah, of course. Of course when it comes to League, you don't have anything to worry about and quit while you're ahead, because guess what? 1 second not playing League is another second that you're spent enjoying life and not wanting to kill yourself. Okay, I'm sorry, but League is not this. It's not a requirement to live, except for some people who do actually view League of Legends as a requirement to live. All right, but when we're talking about food stamps and we're talking about healthcare premiums, these are must-haves, okay? These are must-haves, okay? They're not, oh, we are allowed to play League or we're not allowed to play League and I'm just here to look out for my mental health if we lose like 5 games in a row. We're not talking about that. We're talking about basic necessities, not a luxury product, okay? Oh my god, can people just take like macroeconomics or microeconomics for just like a second? Please, someone just take an AP economics class, for the love of God. I'm tired of economic illiteracy. Holy shit. Dude. The reason why the analogy doesn't work, again, is that video games are a luxury product. You don't have to have them. Basic necessities are different. Healthcare is a necessity, okay?
The fucking Republicans are my retarded jungler who keeps throwing the fucking game.
Oh my god, dude! Dude! Look at him. He's slouched in his chair. He's not even trying.
But they're gonna convince your mid laner that
Inshallah.
you're the problem.
If we queue up another game, if we keep queuing games and we're losing, and it keeps being the retarded jungler's fault, and it's gonna keep being him if you're gonna blame him.
Sure, but at some point he has the chance to actually convince everybody that it's actually the retarded 80 carry's fault. If you keep going.
That is not even close to the right analogy. There's not even. I love extreme analogies. I'm someone who absolutely adores and loves extreme analogies, okay? I'm an extreme analogy motherfucker, okay? You know I do, all right? But this is retarded. Of the highest order, it's retarded, yeah?
Because
you cannot lead the retarded horse to the water. The retarded horse do not even know what the retarded horse look at the reflection in the water. It does not even know that it is looking at a reflection of itself. It is terrified of the water because it is terrified of its own reflection.
The Democrats chose very specifically, and that's another one of the things, is Democrats chose very specifically to fight on the ACA premium tax credits like expiring because it's a very popular issue. Like 80% of Americans or something, and Republicans are very clear that they are against that, right? So it's literally using some of the only leverage that you have right now.
But at some point it stops becoming about those issues and starts becoming about.
What do you mean we lost?
Okay,
we lost what leverage? What do you mean the ACA premiums are going to go up? What do you mean we lost leverage? I don't understand.
Well, they were already gonna go.
Yeah, then they're still going to
They
go
were
up.
already going to. Yeah.
Don't we get to
We
force a
lost the
vote on
leverage
that?
of the government's going to keep being shut down and people are going to keep suffering because of Republicans.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you could do it. I'm not saying, like, if they would have chose to do that, I don't think I necessarily would have been against it. But I think that this off ramp, I think, is also okay because, like, you're potentially, like, we're also moving past, like, just politics and rhetorical stuff into, like, we're talking about really, really serious harm as, like, air
SNAP
travel
benefits,
is.
flights.
Well, yeah, the flight shit is starting to get, like, mega fucked. The snap shit is starting to get, like, mega
Imagine how
fucked.
pissed
Yes, let them get fucked though, right? Because that's the cost we're willing to bear. Wait, what? Hold on. When we're overseas fighting World War II, is it not true that we technically fuck over a bunch of Americans? Because a bunch of Americans are going to get PTSD. A lot of people are going to get like trauma. Women have to run the country, and they have to learn a lot of things on the spot. Like there are costs to this, but we're okay with spending costs to do something good, right?
people will get once
Right.
flights get canceled and people can't go see their family for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And
It's
how much
easy
it will
off-ramp
blame
for
them
them
for
to
But I
blame
don't know.
Dems.
Yeah, I don't know if the anger being squarely focused on Republicans would hold through all of that, though. If Democrats had the ability to flip a switch on that.
They could have done it at any point, right?
What?
In the last 40 days, at any point, the Democrats could have flipped the switch the same way they did yesterday.
Yeah, because I don't
At
think
any
that,
point, they did yesterday.
yeah, but I think that
If they had done it 2 weeks ago, would you have said the same thing?
if they had done what 2 weeks ago?
If they had, if the same 8 senators had voted to reopen the government 2 weeks ago, would you have said the same
How
thing?
long ago were the elections?
That's a good question.
Last week.
Oh, then I
Well, so
probably would have
before
said
the
it was
election.
pretty dumb. I think that I think
Wait, so you flipped from very dumb to, oh, this was all part of the plan? Just because of the election? I wouldn't say that. I don't think I agree with that. I don't think I agree with that. I don't think you can look in hindsight and say, oh yeah, the reason why we won the elections was because of the snap shit, right? I don't think I agree with that. The reason why I don't agree with that is because you're attributing the win of the elections solely due to the government shutdown. But the winning of the elections could also be because of Trump presidency's horrible performance. It could also be due to like so many other reasons. So I don't think I agree with this.
getting all of that, the election wins across the country, I think were pretty big. We won everything. I think you can argue against the public mandate that Trump once had. The popular, like I think like getting your
but
political
in
wins
that
there
case,
and then moving on. Yeah.
What happened after the elections, right?
Mhm.
Trump and the Republicans start panicking, and Trump is begging the Republican senators to kill the filibuster so they can reopen the government because they see how much it's hurting them.
I mean,
Like,
he's
the
begging for it because he
alternative
just
here-
think it'd be great to
and
pass his
people haven't-
agenda. I don't think he cared much about the people or whatever. He always had the ability to fund SNAP using the emergency funds. He's the one fighting against that, right?
Yes, correct. But so he wanted to do it because if not, then people were going to keep blaming him for the shutdown, and it was going to keep hurting Republicans and everything, right? He wanted to get the government reopened because he sees that. So, like, what it is talked about enough, but the fucking Trump's been like really fucking hammering the Republican senators on like the filibuster, nuke the filibuster, we need to end the filibuster, whatever the fuck, right?
Mhm.
And that might have been a real big factor with why the 8 senators caved. That they just haven't been talking about because that might have been behind closed doors. They said, "Oh, we'll give you this, whatever, and we won't kill the filibuster, and then that's okay, right?" In theory, that's one thing, but in my opinion, like, make them kill the filibuster to get the government reopened, like, or concede on the fucking ACA thing. Like, why
if
are
you
we
kill
putting
the
up to a vote?
filibuster, then they just lose all of their power on that.
Okay, and they'll keep fucking hurting people, and
Yeah, but if the shutdown was hurting us, we would not have won as big. Think about the voter short-term memory. What do you mean by that?
if we're gonna keep fucking, like, Republicans' approval has only gone down
Mhm.
since.
Yeah, but like, what are we waiting
Trump's
for? I mean,
gone
like,
up.
so we won all of our elections. That was like our extraction. I think it was the big gift.
Is that
we
like
got
a
from the
point
shutdown,
against me,
even though
or-
it's not necessarily a gift from them. We won all the elections, so why not ease up on the gas a little bit and then roll this issue back in front of voters at the end of January, so they have a little bit of time to catch their breath. Especially now over everything that just happened. I feel like Republicans, it's got to be in their court a little bit to like
It was always
really
in the court.
Well, yeah, but they didn't feel it as much as they did after those elections. Now I think now, like, Mike
Yeah,
Johnson didn't
so-
feel like it was in the court. He had no problem like
So
saying
they were
that.
in the perfect position to, like, the pressure was even higher than
So
it
we should
was
just leave the government
2 weeks
closed until
ago.
midterms.
Fuck. If
Yes.
no, they should leave the government shut down.
Okay,
until
so they
midterms,
should leave the
because
government
terms were
shut down
very
until
clear to reopen
midterms.
the government.
I don't know. I just don't know how realistic that path forward is. I feel like at some point people would just start to blame everybody in government, including the Democrats, or definitely the Democrats. If you got Republicans doing this like clean CR, and like people can't fly on an airplane, and people aren't getting any are starting to like not get any SNAP at all.
Well, yeah, but like the blame is against the Republicans, right? The blame is being put on the Republicans for that. It isn't, even if the Democrats take a little bit of flack, the flack wouldn't even be close because people only remember what they suffer through under whose administration. This is how, if we care so much about what normies think, this is what normies think, right? They only care about who is suffering under who, right? They only care about, oh, well, if my family suffered under Trump and all branches of the government was controlled by Trump, well, it must be Trump's fault, right? This is how the mind of the average retard works. And that's not wrong. Mike Johnson is now saying there's no guarantee that House Republicans will vote to keep the ACA subsidies. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, right? I'm not surprised. If that's true, then that just reinforces my point even more, right?
They would probably blame everybody versus just the Republicans.
Like, I see what you're saying, Destiny, that like, oh, just keep it shut down until midterms, but I don't think that would happen. I think way before that, the Republicans...
Dude.
I mean, you can say that, but how many weeks do we get into this? And it feels like they just don't give a fuck.
Like 40 days.
6 weeks, yeah.
I don't even know. I feel like they don't give a fuck.
Well, but,
like,
but
Trump,
the pressure since last week has been as high as it's ever been.
Yeah,
right?
as
like,
yeah,
in
sure.
theory, like every single day gets worse for them, but especially after the elections, the pressure was mounting incredibly high because they were seeing the fucking like writing on the wall, kind of that it was not going to go well for them.
Yeah,
like,
I understand. I understand what you're saying. That might be true, but like I think the Democrats like walked out of this like with 100% the good guys. That's what it feels like, at least. So like, why risk pushing?
No. Then I would say his feelings are wrong. If he feels as though the Democrats walked out of this as the good guys, then I would say his feelings are wrong.
Envelope on that.
It was 8 senators that defected from their party instead of
no. Before
every Democrat,
is that game out?
Yeah, that's a different argument. I agree. The messaging is bad. There should have been unity there, 100%. But I'm saying that like
right
now,
that's not even messaging. That's just
no, that's messaging.
That's not even just messaging.
It's messaging and unity.
The whole party needs to be in one thing.
They're one and the same, I think. If the Democrats would push the envelope on it, and it would have hurt Trump even more, at some point it has to start hurting the Democrats. Like at some point, everybody's going to be mad as fuck at everybody there, right? And then also you're talking about like real pain. You're talking about like starting to fuck the economy, fuck travel, fuck like hungry people. Like we're getting into real no longer meme territory. Like federal workers is already like 2 paychecks like out.
Who gets hurt the most by the shutdown? It's like rural, like people in poor states, right? Just hypothetically.
Is that even true?
I think somebody did.
It depends on who. I guess it depends on where you notice or who's going to notice things in terms of stuff going on the most. Like anybody who's traveling is going to notice that. I guess maybe most of the SNAP people are in ruralish areas. That might be the case. I'm not sure. Federal workers are going to get hurt for sure.
But like, I get what you're saying. Like, people will get hurt, but then that's on the Republicans, right? Like, at some point, maybe people would start blaming like everybody for it. But like, the truth of the matter is, and like the thing is, the messaging has been insanely good on the Democrats for the shutdown, right? That it is the Republicans' fault, and that's been holding.
Yo, Turkey Nutella, thank you so much for subscribing for 2 months. I appreciate that. Thank you. The game bans are out down.
Maybe that would change at some point, but I think as long as it kept being consistent, and I don't know. I don't
think
it would
like to make a deal versus to one side quote unquote wins everything.
Not everything. Like the Democrats had one demand. Like they're not even saying like, oh, we want Medicare for all and we want this and we want this. Like it was just, hey, let's work on these ACA premium tax credits that are expiring in December, and that's what we want.
Was it just that? It wasn't also to restore the Medicaid stuff?
Yeah, but it was like primarily the Obamacare thing. But I think the Medicaid stuff was kind of rolled in for some stuff or something. I think it was like connected, but yeah. But it was like just a healthcare thing. Like
sure, that was the big thing, yeah.
And the Dems like coming out of it, right? We didn't get anything on that, and so what is going to happen now? It's just we do a shutdown again in December when they don't, or if they do,
sure, like how many people do you think?
What's going to happen if Republicans vote for like in favor of it, right? If they vote yes on whenever the vote comes up, that's first of all, it's assuming that they do the vote. It's assuming that then it goes to the House. And
bro, I just put all this water through my fucking thing, but dude, where? Hold on.
Assuming that then Trump also doesn't veto it, right? Let's say that they vote yes, Republicans will try to spin that as a win. Republicans will say, "Oh, hey, look, we got healthcare for the American people, and the Democrats got into a shutdown for no reason for 40 days because we got them healthcare anyways, and that's it."
But that was only because the Democrats were able to force them to bring the vote, right?
You think they wouldn't spin it?
If they're going to spin it, if we're going with a hypothetical future where they can spin anything, then we should just literally do nothing because they can spin everything. In that case, then I'll just use your argument and say, oh, well, if this shutdown would have kept going and people would have really started to get hurt, then they could just successfully spin it so the Democrats are the ones who are at fault.
But we already know that hasn't happening, right? Like,
well, not yet,
but the past 40 days it's been not yet.
So we would just assume, okay, yeah, I mean, that's a take, I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's it's tit for tat. Really, like if they're
Yeah, but we
gonna
got we extracted so many like politically good things from the shutdown. I think we came away with big W's. I think Trump looks like a fucking retard. I think that the Johnson stuff and the Epstein stuff was up a little bit when he wouldn't call even the House back into session to seat the one House person. We've got a vote that is supposed to come up again. People in their mind know because we started to get over the precipice of like big like shutdown bad things, right? So now when this vote comes up again and people are looking at another potential shutdown, I feel like people are going to remember like what happened while the Democrats won all their elections and they messaged pretty strongly on it, and now our healthcare premiums have all skyrocketed. Are we really blaming the Democrats for skyrocketing healthcare premiums when the Republicans would like? If the Democrats are going to lose the messaging on that, then I would just say, okay, well then if they can't win messaging on anything, it literally doesn't matter what they do. Like I just don't know what else we would get aside
That's not true.
from we would solidify all the ACA stuff now. Like that was the only
literally
difference.
just that. Like
Nah,
that's
fuck
the,
him.
that
I
was
think
the
let
big
him
demand.
hurt on it.
Wasn't
Healthcare is
anything
the one thing that
crazy.
Republicans wanted to destroy forever. Then let the premiums go up.
They already were hurting on it.
What do you mean?
Like how like people like this the healthcare costs are already going up. I think for certain people, right? They would either way going up in November if the Democrats had, or rather if the Republicans had caved and given the Democrats, then the Democrats get to say, hey, despite Trump being in office and fucking over your life.
Bro, you know what? You know what? Like, there's no use disagreeing like this either. Okay, I'm pretty confident in my analysis of the situation so far, based off of the information that I've been given. We'll see, because here's the deal. All right, here's the deal. I think Destiny is coping here, and I think that in time we will see who is correct. Okay, if Destiny is willing to bet money on this, if he believes in this, some cash on the line.
In
Okay.
so many ways, we forced them to give the American people a win. Like that was the whole point of the
Yeah, but
shutdown.
how are they even going to see that much of a win? Like Americans
are
are retarded anyway. Like healthcare costs are still going to be going up, even if we would got the ACA reinstated. So like,
Sure, of course, but it wouldn't have been doubling, quadrupling,
yeah,
tripling.
but nobody
right?
recognized that.
And that's also, but that also goes to like what you were just saying to me, which is, oh, people are going to really start hurting. Like this is actually affecting people. Like when people's healthcare costs start doubling, tripling, quadrupling, that's going to hurt a lot of people. Like
yeah, but I think people will blame both. Like if you've got an irrational party and then a rational party dealing with them, like people will get mad at the irrational party. They can clearly see they're irrational, but at some point they're going to appeal to the rational party and say, look, we just have to like get over this. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna say I can't read the future. I just know that right now I feel like they walked out basically almost like flawlessly in terms of the political wins, except the messaging at the end here I think was bungled.
I think we walked out until the second before the vote. It was 100% positive for Democrats, and then the vote it just reinforces every bad thing people already think about Democrats.
They had a beautiful
That they'll
game.
cave, that they're weak. That
Yeah,
they're
but it's
divided.
only because I said that because that's what the messaging is, but that's not really true, right? The
Except time? No. I'll backstab him later.
Republicans got fucked in all the polling. They lost their elections. That's supposed to be the thing we care the most about. They got fucking raped in every state on all their elections on all this. People are clearly not happy about everything going on.
Yeah.
So I think
Huge
that
5-man. We
But that's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum, dude. We're not even past... Actually, I would argue we haven't even gotten past the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum is making them fold. Is making the Republicans fold for once. That's the bare minimum for me. We have to at least make the Republicans cater to pressure like that, and not just talking about Abrigo Garcia, because I know for Abrigo Garcia they cater to pressure. They actually did cave on pressure. But what were they trying to do afterwards, right? What were they trying to do at some point? Well, they want to deport him back to El Salvador at some point, right?
just left the tower. You
good
know.
job, King.
Yeah.
I don't even get how that analogy makes sense, but sure, true.
I think that I guess we'll see when it comes out, but
I mean, I don't know.
Also
You could
being
be
able to-
right.
I mean, it won't take long to see who will be correct, right? Because if you think about it, right? If you think about it, like how long was it until, like, how long is it going to be until the time comes around where we're going to have to talk about it? Not very long, right? Okay, cool. I mean, I guess we'll see. Okay, I'm on that.
I hope you're right.
Being able to push the gas
Like,
again on the shutdown, I think would be nice because it also brings it back rather than like just going for months and months and months and months and months or whatever. Especially
well,
like other
like, I
mechanisms
always
taken in
said
the
that, like-
states start like supplementing SNAP somehow, and then people don't even or whatever. You know.
Also, not only that, it has to pass the House, right? Do Republicans have control of the House? Does anyone know? Actually, no. I'll just search this up. It's fine. I'll search it up. Hold on. 219 Republicans, 213 Democrats. Fuck me, dude. Actually, never mind. Dude, fuck me. Never mind, dude. Nah, we're fucked. Oh, we're fucked.
Like I always said,
Well,
this
awesome.
like there is silver lining in the government reopening, which is the things that they did get,
It's
quote
over.
unquote, and that there will be a vote that in theory that Republicans will have to vote no or whatever.
Disappointing.
And
Just
maybe
so
like the salience of literally
disappointing.
seeing them do a vote for it will make people see it, but I think I don't see why any argument to like I don't know like
Yeah,
it was the
Speaker
same for the last 4
Johnson.
days.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
nothing really
okay.
changed.
Yeah.
Like besides the election, but I don't think the election is a reason not like to suddenly end it.
Love you. Good luck.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Well,
But,
just will
I mean,
see
I
what
hope you're
happens, yeah.
You don't know.
Your mom doesn't know though.
Not do you.
Ooh.
Oh, I know.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Okay. Well, anything else?
Okay, cool. I'm glad we can all agree that Destiny was wrong, okay? Well, at least the majority. I think most people agree that Destiny was wrong. I think. I hope. Fingers crossed, okay?